Good afternoon. My name is Dustin. I'm here with Haley. We're going to do a get to know you interview. Let's get started with some questions. Haley, I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you do for a living.
Okay.
How do you spend most of your days?
As far as my job goes?
Yeah, what do you do for a living?
Okay, so I'm a mobile scheduling specialist, so what we do is I text people and we refer them to food pantries in the central Ohio area. So if someone needs food or any other type of resource such as shelter or help paying bills, I can reach out to them and send them where they need to go for that too.
So you sit with in front of a computer all day, and you said that you text clients about food pantries?
Yeah, it's like a instant messenger program. So yeah, I sit in front of the computer, and it's pretty interesting. I get some interesting clients.
Okay. Have you been doing that for a long time?
About a year and a half.
Okay. Is it something that you like to do?
Yeah, it's taught me a lot about things that I didn't really have an open mind about before, just because I didn't really come from a family that was
kind of dependent on...
Yeah, I didn't really
help.
come from that background, so it's eye-opening. It's nice to, not nice, but it's really taught me a lot about myself.
Really insightful.
Yeah.
I understand. So what would you say is probably your favorite aspect of doing a job that can help people in the community?
It's kind of like personal gain. It's just really, it makes me feel good at the end of the day, being able to help someone in need and knowing that I did my best to help them with what I could, and I gave them the resources that we have available for them.
Okay, so you said that you are on the food pantry side. You said they also have other resources, I assume, as a homeless shelter, or I don't know, I see a lot of businesses that provide transportation services for running errands for clients, things like that. Do you have any interest in doing anything maybe moving into the homeless that kind of piece of it?
Not really. I feel like I'm too sensitive for that. I feel like I would, I have friends obviously that work in that side, and they've told me a lot of really sad stories. And they do say it's really, when you first start, if you're not used to that kind of thing, it's really strong. You get really sad stories, people crying, men crying, telling you how they want to see their kids, they want to see their families, but they can't because they don't have a house, etc. So you have to have a strong stomach for emotional things, I guess.
Okay. So, since you're pretty set on staying in the texting program, is there anything that you would change about your job? Is there anything that you don't like?
No, not really. It's really easy.
Okay. So do you wish that maybe it was more challenging? I would assume it's probably a lot of routine duties.
I've memorized pretty much everything that I know about my job. I am really familiar with a lot of the people who text in. It's very routine. Start to finish, just get the person scheduled, do what you need to do, give them the resources they need. It's pretty basic.
Okay. So do you have a direct supervisor that you work with for, I don't know, that you would relay issues to, or that helps you do coaching to better you as a customer service representative?
Yes. She sets up peer interviews every 6 months, and we do those, and I also report to her if there's some sort of an issue within the pantry system. If a pantry's closed and a client shows up and they didn't know it was closed and we didn't know it was closed, then I'll shoot her an email or a phone call and let her know what the issue is, and then she usually helps me resolve it and then just relay it back to the client.
Okay. So what are two aspects that that your manager may, possess now, but what are two traits that you would say are probably your most desired when it comes to a manager, things that you really look for them to either give back to you through, like coachings or just like their personality to make sure to make you most comfortable?
I like personally about my manager that she is really personable, and I feel like I'm never afraid to approach her about anything or talk to her about anything. I could see her being like a friend and a manager. And then another thing would probably be just that she's really open to the ideas that I propose to her, and she doesn't shoot them down or anything, and she always seems really excited about the ideas that I have had. So that's really encouraging.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. So have you always been kind of in the customer service role through like your working career?
Yes. That's pretty much the only jobs I've ever had is customer service.
So is it something you maybe probably plan to stay with? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I kind of like the nonprofit world. It's what I do now is nonprofit, so it's pretty nice. It's a lot smaller, and I feel like it's kind of like family, I feel. I like that. Corporate is fine too, but I've never really worked like in the business setting of the corporate world. But they have good benefits. I really don't know exactly what I want to do with my degree, but it would be nice to maybe stay in the nonprofit or maybe just move up within the company I'm in now.
Okay. So why don't we kind of do a spin-off of the degree you mentioned. So does it mean you're currently in school or you've completed school?
I'm in school for business management and marketing.
Okay. Where do you go?
Columbus State.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You said it was hands-on in Central Ohio. So do you? I'm assuming that's probably in like the downtown area or maybe in the short north or something.
Yeah, it's actually like right down the street from Columbus State.
Okay, so that works out.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you were doing marketing. What was the other?
Business management.
Okay. Do you want to use that to do something more marketing, or are you looking to do something more like a managerial duty?
I think I'm just using it mainly for the business management aspect. I would hope to maybe just move up like within hands-on and maybe eventually be the manager of the text and chat program. That's been mentioned to me in the past, so it'd be nice if that could just roll my way.
Yeah, I agree. It is nice when things fall in place, once you put forth the effort to get there. So, where did you graduate high school from?
Teays Valley High School. It's in Asheville.
Okay, and is it like near Columbus? Like, do you still live in that area?
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes south of Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a small town.
Okay.
Cornfields.
Yeah, it's similar probably to the outskirts of Lancaster, more where I'm from. So I think that I'm pretty sure I know where that is. Anyway, so do you plan to just get your bachelor's degree and then maybe just start working, like finding something with your degree, or do you think you're going to go back for like a master's degree?
I'm not really sure. I think I'll probably just get my bachelor's and see where life takes me. I don't really have any major plans. I'm pretty much content with how things are now, and I'm just kind of waiting to see how things go for me as far as college goes. The program I'm in is a transfer program, so I'll have to do 2 years at Columbus State, and then I'll transfer over to Franklin University after 2 years.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, are you like double majoring, or is it like part of it's like a marketing degree, and then like you maybe finish at Franklin with the business management portion?
Yeah. I will finish at Franklin with the business management. That'll be like a 4-year degree, and then we'll have a 2-year degree in marketing.
Okay, so it's similar to what Ohio University does. That's what I was doing. got my like associate's degree in accounting, and then I am finishing out my business management degree through the Lancaster campus of our university. So it's kind of the same. Um, so are you? So like, what do you do in your free time then, if you're not at school and not at work?
I usually spend time with my friends and family on the weekends, and after work I usually just make dinner, run errands, hang out with my cat, Berlioz.
Okay. Was that the cat that I saw on the way in? Do you only have one pet?
Yeah, just one.
Okay. Okay. So do you? So you said you like to hang out with your friends. Are they? Is there anything else that you like? Any other hobbies that you're interested in?
I like doing makeup, and I like to watch tutorials on makeup and
Okay.
learn how to do different things. I like to do different eye makeup looks.
Okay. Is that something that you'd ever be interested in doing and pursuing, like as a career? Like, have you ever thought about moving into like more of a retail? I would say like retail environment to. I mean, even something as small as, like going to Nordstrom and doing makeup for, like at one of the counters where they sell, like, cosmetics.
That would be really cool, but I just feel like it wouldn't make enough money.
Okay.
So I guess, economically speaking, it's kind of like what keeps me from not doing that.
Okay. Yeah. So it's one of those things where the financial aspect of it is kind of a barricade or an obstacle, I should say, in your kind of dream.
Yeah, I would rather just keep it as a hobby, and like my sister and her friends, if they want me to do their makeup, I usually do it. But it's nice to just have something that's mine and that I can just do at the end of the day. I guess I like collecting makeup too. I have a lot of different eyeshadows and lipsticks that I like to keep.
Okay. When we spoke on the phone earlier, you had mentioned that you were in the Air National Guard. Can you tell me like a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I joined almost 3 years ago, and I'm in the services branch, so in a deployed environment, I would probably make food or deal with mortuary issues. We deal with physical, the fitness center, lodging. So if it was a bare base where there was nothing there, we would set up like the tents and the buildings that people would sleep in. And then we also deal with morale. So if obviously when you're deployed, you're probably missing home and you're sad. So we'll get out like recreational activities for everybody, or we might set up for an entertainer to come to the site and sing for them. But like during drill weekends, which is one time per month, I just go out and I usually cook because there's not really anything else for us to do. But there is a lodging team, and they'll set up for people who live out of the city, and they'll come in and stay like in the hotels in Grove City, because it's like 15 minutes away from Rickenbacker where I go. So there's that, and then there's the physical or the fitness team, and they go out on the weekends and they set up for the PT tests that are every weekend. So they'll just set up like the machines. I'm not really sure, I've never done that before, but it like counts the run time, and then they just judge whether people are doing like their push-ups and sit-ups correctly. And then but mainly I just cook. And I'm also on the FCERT team, which stands for Field Search and Recovery. So if there was some sort of like national disaster, kind of like the mudslides, I don't remember where they were, but it was a few years ago, they sent out National Guard teams in the respective areas, and they had them retrieve the deceased bodies from the mudslide.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of intensive training, and we do like a lot of chemical training in case there's ever some sort of like a chemical environment that we have to enter into and rescue people. It's really different from what I do like on drill weekends, but it makes me appreciate drill weekends a lot more because FSERT is really hard.
So you said drill weekends. You said it was one time or one weekend a month. So is that something you do every single month?
Yes.
Okay. So when you entered into the Air Force, like you referenced the physical training that you have to do. Like, is it something you do every weekend? I mean that you're there.
No, we don't do any physical training. Like, it's all on our own. If I was active duty, usually each base or unit has, like, as a team, essentially, you go out and you do PT early in the morning together.
Okay.
But we don't do that. Since it's only one time a month, we just kind of have to do it on our own time. And so we're, like, completely... Like, we are, I don't know what I'm, like, the word I'm looking for. We're basically dependent on to do it ourselves.
Okay, so you said, like, if you were active duty, that they do it kind of like, they have more of a routine where it's almost, like, required that you do the physical training.
Yeah, so...
Which I would assume maybe that's more desirable because active duty, obviously, is going to be, like, your first go-to, like, your first in line to go on... like you said, the deployment, for example, with the mudslides a couple years ago, they would probably be like the first one sent out to do something, and then you're more of like a backup. So, but I think that maybe that the Air National Guard would probably benefit from having kind of like a routine physical training to do every time that they're out.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I think that probably some of those people that are dependent on that can't quite make it would appreciate that more like concrete.
Yeah.
Agenda for the weekend.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So have you gone on any kind of deployments? You said that you're not in a deployable area, but you could be asked to do so?
Yeah, so, like, last weekend when Hurricane Matthew was, like, happening, it was a possibility we could have gone down to Georgia and Florida.
Okay.
But we didn't. We were just kind of... Be aware, don't do anything crazy, don't go, like, if you're out of state, please let us know, that kind of thing, but, obviously we ended up not having to go, which was kind of nice, because I was moving, but,
okay.
Yeah, but I've never really been on a deployment. I've only ever done trainings. We did kind of like a deployment during the, Republican Nationals, in Cleveland. We went there over the summer, and we were there for the week, just in case. We were kind of on standby in case something crazy happened. Luckily, nothing did, but we just kind of trained for in case something did happen, but we did a very light schedule compared to what we would normally be expected to do during a training. But, no, I've never been on any deployments yet.
Okay, so, the only time you said when you were in, or near Cleveland, you said that you were doing training. Is that kind of like the only training you have throughout the year, since you don't do any kind of training on drill weekends? You said you mainly cook.
So, I mean, we do trainings on drill weekends too. It's got to be scheduled though. And like right now, there is a deployment, and half of my unit is gone, so we don't really have time for training. But when they come back, our training schedule will probably be
like kickstart back up.
Yeah, it'll be really busy. Like last year before the deployment, we were always doing something in regards to deployment training. We didn't do a lot of FSERT training just because there's only a select number of us in the unit on the team, so they don't really want to take us away from the team when we could just have our own separate training. But usually we do, like, we practice cooking out of the spec kitchen, which is like, it's kind of like a food truck, and we use it like on deployments and a bear base. So we practice using that one time, and then we practice building certain types of tents and stuff for deployments. So that's like the kind of training we get. There's other training, but it's like watching videos, and it's kind of monotonous.
I was going to say, I'm thinking of how it works for, training for, like, search and recovery. If you, do people kind of just, like, go, do they, like, take people and hide them somewhere and, like, require you to find them? Or is that too, almost feel like that'd be kind of, not childish, but kind of like, almost like a game to play?
No. So there's, like, different teams in the trainings, and each team is assigned to do different things. The live victims are taken out by medical teams, and then the Army is also involved, and they do stuff too. I'm not really sure how everything works, but, like, our team, basically what they do is they just hide dummies, and then they, like, lay them there, and we get, like, a map with coordinates, and we're told to follow that map and find the things, like, on the coordinate.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not really sure, like, what I'm allowed to disclose, but I'm pretty sure that's
okay,
fine to talk about.
Maybe we'll move to a different topic. I should have known that it was more of a confidential thing. So I just have kind of one last question for you that maybe was more on, like, a personal level. Like, how would someone, like, one of your close friends describe you? Just, maybe, like, some of your traits, or, like, just kind of an adjective they tie to your personality.
Rambunctious.
Okay.
Outspoken.
Okay.
Colorful.
Okay.
I guess those would be pretty good ones.
Okay, so maybe, like, against the grain, kind of like you have your own, like, kind of like opinionated or something?
Yes.
Okay, that works. Well, thank you for, taking the time today to meet with me for this interview.